splitting the host duties a little bit today. So welcome everybody. I think we'll go ahead and get started because I know there's plenty to talk about today. I do want to let everybody know that we are recording this and we will be publishing it later. So just FYI. My name is Jennifer Rubinstein. I'm the director of the Louisville Independent Business Alliance. I am going to drop my contact information in the chat here. Rebecca Melanson is my partner in crime. We are running these local leader roundtables for Amoeba organization, so very near and dear to many of our hearts. We have let me see. Oh yeah, and Rebecca is also, so we changed up our duties a little bit today because Rebecca was gonna host and she's gonna take some detailed notes though today because Amoeba is actually applying for a grant for potentially working with the multi-vendor marketplace for all of our members. I think most of you here today know who Amoeba is. That's probably how you heard about it. We are obviously a group of lots of independent business alliances and other organizations that support buying local across the country. We're having these calls to keep us all in touch, to help us share best practices, help us lean on each other, not just during the pandemic, but always. So we have we are a member-supported organization, and so this call is one of the many benefits that are part of being a member. So if you're not a member yet, we encourage you to do that. You can check it out on our website, amoeba.net. We rotate through 3 types of calls for these local leader roundtable calls. We do a kind of a hive thing where I liken it to kind of the cocktail hour after a conference where we're all just kind of sharing ideas and best practices and just having a chat basically. And then we also have a what's new at Amoeba type of local leaders roundtable. And that is where we kind of keep everyone as up to date as possible on what is going on with Amoeba because it's a lot to keep up with. It's a very dynamic organization, and we want you all to take full advantage of your membership, etc. So our call today is one of our nuts and bolts type of calls. So where we get into a little bit more of the practicalities of running an organization. So today's topic is multi-vendor marketplaces online. So it's a very exciting thing and a thing that's really been taking off, especially spurred on by the pandemic. We don't have time. Ordinarily, we would try to go around the room and introduce everybody, but in the interest of time, and since we have such a large group today, I would ask you to drop that in the chat. So if you would, in the chat, just so we can get a better sense of who's in the room with us today, please put your name and your position. Organization name if you're with an organization and where you are if it isn't obvious by your name, and maybe your email address too so that folks can get in touch with you after, although we do have a lot of your email addresses in our registration as well. Rebecca, anything I'm missing before we dive in?
Well, I think you got it. You got every bit of it. Yay.
All right. Well, each of our presenters today is going to share kind of a short 5 minutes or less summary of how we have started our multi-member marketplace. And that definition, it covers a wide variety of things. And then after that, we'll have discussion and questions so that we can dive a little deeper. So with that, let's see. I'm going to introduce Jen Risley. Let's see, let's start with you. This is kind of random. It's basically who I see up on my screen, so.
Great. Jennifer, did you want me to share my screen?
You can share your screen, yes.
All right, I'll try that again. It wasn't letting me just now. Nope.
I think you have to be a co-host.
You should be able to now.
Can you?
Thank you.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Jen.
La certificación a su manera, sin pagar.
Oh, and we'll ask everybody to stay on mute if possible while we're presenting until we're ready to say something.
Great, thanks.
Nada.
Jen Risley from.
Vuelvo a someterlo. No es la primera vez que la leo. Esta mañana por fin pude accesar Sí, ya pude. Ya pude accesar Déjame ver.
Oh,
Can we?
there we go.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So Jen Risley from the local crowd Monadnock, which is in Keene, New Hampshire. I noticed there's some folks from Support Local, and actually our marketplace is part of Support Local. So you'll hear more from them, but I'll just share a little bit about what we're doing. So let's see, in November 1st, we decided to launch this marketplace. We were trying to figure out a way to help leverage our contacts. We don't have members for our IBA, but we wanted to help them get online as fast as possible. So a marketplace seemed like the right fit. We did a crowdfunding campaign to try to first raise a little bit of funding, but also raise enough interest. So if we did launch it, people would already be kind of aware what we were doing. So that worked out great. So the fact that we launched on the first day of the Shop Indie Local program, it just kind of burst with items and with participation. So we're called TLC Monadnock Mercantile. And yeah, we just, it's a pretty easy platform to upload or to get people onboarded with. And again, I can have Jack explain that more. But in our community, you know, we have a lot of artisans who want to participate. So we probably have a lot of art, a lot of restaurants, and not so many retailers yet because they were just so darn busy during the holiday season, which is great. So that's been kind of a learning curve for us, is helping them realize how easy it is to upload something on our marketplace. The thing that was most surprising for us is the fact that this website, which just has items, maybe about 200 items, gets so much more traffic than our regular website, which has blog posts, calendars. You know, I'm updating it every single day. So to me, that just shows that our community is really interested in supporting local and finding it all in one place. The other opportunity, I'll just be real quick, is we're using it to highlight and connect with other projects we're doing, because of course, during the holiday season, there was lots of traffic, but afterwards it gets kind of quiet. So we've been using some of the features on Support Local to promote. We have the Monadnock Restaurant Project. We're trying to get people to buy gift cards from local restaurants and get out there and spend them as quickly and as comfortably as they can. So that's been really great.
Sorry, are you? Oh, okay. Well, awesome. Well, thanks, Jen. And folks, as you're having questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. And of course, remind us afterwards. We're going to try to kind of hear from everybody first and then go back to chat a little bit about that. And I think, Jen, since you are working with Jack and Amy, let's go ahead and have Jack come up next and just talk a little bit more about the product. So this is a little different too. We have IBA leaders here as well, and Jack is here representing the company that one of our IBAs is using.
Well, good morning, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to represent Support Local, but fortunately, we also have Sarah on the call, who's the creator of the program, and so there's really no better person to. Yeah, fair enough. So I'll turn it over to Sarah, so I don't burn any more time.
Hello, thanks you guys. Really appreciate you having us here today. Let's see, yeah, so my name is Sarah Green. I'm the principal of DEI Creative. We're a creative firm in Seattle. We focus on branding and interactive and work primarily with small businesses and communities, neighborhoods and communities. So when COVID hit, we developed Support Local. It's an online marketplace platform that Jen shared with you a little bit about, and Mariah will, I think, be doing the same. Let's see, so we created this online marketplace platform for community leaders to implement as a sales and marketing tool for their independent businesses. And let's see, it's very scalable. We can use it. It can be used right out of the box, which is essentially what how Jen utilized it. The site that Mariah will be sharing has definitely, it was incorporated into a whole campaign that she built. And if it's okay, I'll just screen share and show you a demo site that we've built. We have been adding on to the platform as we evolve. And is that cool if I share real quick? Okay, let's
You should be able to.
This is someone who has set up, let me make sure my microphone is off. Oh, no, hold on a minute.
All right. Okay, so this is what we've done is we've been continuing to implement the marketplaces for numerous organizations. I think we have about 17 launched so far, and they continue to grow across the country. And so this is just what we did is we created a sort of a demo site to show you what it would look like where it's not pertaining to one individual. And we have two options for the navigation. So there's a stacked navigation, and then there's a horizontal navigation. But what I'm going to show you, this is a site. This is obviously a demo site, but it shows you kind of a site with all of the bells and whistles. It has a hero image, and this is a homepage that shows featured products and restaurants and services, and the different sponsors in the footer. I'll just show you a couple of examples of, and again, this is a site with all of the bells and whistles added. So we have an interactive map for the restaurants page, and for the shopping. Try to be quick here. For the shopping page, we have, you can filter by different categories, by neighborhood, by business affinity. And when you go to when you click on a product, you're able to message the merchant, share the item. That one didn't have a purchase. I'm not sure why. These are all tests. And then there's ability to purchase. So within the marketplace, you're able to, or within this platform, you're able to purchase by linking directly out. So if somebody already has an e-commerce site, this is just a great sales and marketing tool for them to utilize in conjunction with their existing e-commerce. And so purchasing would take somebody right to their own e-commerce to buy the product. I'm gonna click through here. Every time you click, it randomizes the different products. So you're able to message the merchant. And the other option is if you don't have an existing website, then people are able to purchase. They're able to purchase through PayPal. But all sales are direct between the buyer and the seller. There's no middleman, which was, I think, really nice. There are options to include ads, so people can, you can sell advertising on it to help supplement. And one of the things we added, Mariah and Jen, this is a new feature. We've added this favorites page. So as you're going along, you can be like, "Ooh, I really like this item," and it'll take it right up and put it into your favorites list. Or you can clear that and check different items. Or that doesn't clear that. You just click off of them to clear them out. You can view all businesses and see all the businesses on an interactive map. Anywho, bunch of bells and whistles, and then you're able to have gallery style sponsors and whatnot in case you have a lot to share there. So that's a quick little rundown on some of the different features that the marketplace has. And I can definitely share more later if people are interested.
Awesome. Oh, yep, I'm off mute. Sorry. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. And obviously I did not do my research before because I did not realize that Mariah and Jen both had the support local site. So so why don't we just round this out? And Mariah, would you like to chat next about how you've implemented this in your area? And then we'll shift gears a little bit to some different types of marketplaces.
Sure. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. You are screen sharing. Is that coming through?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So we are on the dry side of the state from Sarah there. We're in the inland Northwest. That's what INW stands for. And our campaign has been in the works for about 3 years. And we were able to land a hefty CARES Act grant to actually buy our launch our Live Local campaign in our region. We'd been doing a lot of grassroots activities prior to actually receiving funding. And so now we are a household name in our city and surrounding communities. So this is kind of our landing page. We have a newsletter people can sign up for. We try to make it really easy for businesses to enroll. We have over 600 businesses listing on our page, on our website. And here in the product section, you can see you can search by neighborhood. So we have over, a dozen neighborhoods here. Restaurants was an important segment for us to highlight because of their unique struggle at this time. We also had a lot of fun looking into business types. So if you want to shop multi-ethnic owned businesses, you can do that. Women-owned, immigrant-owned, LGBTQ-owned, green businesses, because of our mission statement, B Corp certified businesses, of which there's only 2 in Spokane. We're trying to motivate that by highlighting that as a business category, and also nonprofits. And we're very proud to say that because of the unique partnerships that we launched the campaign with, here, this is a report I wrote about the outcomes of the campaign. These are just some of the partner organizations that we subcontracted with to help get the word out there. And because of these partnerships, we were able to launch our website with 480 businesses, 30% of which were owned by business owners of color. So it's a rare example of a CARES Act program where the most marginalized and most vulnerable, economically speaking, businesses were able to be at the front of the line instead of the back of the line. Because too often we saw with the SBA loan programs, lack of pre-existing banking relationships, all kinds of other hurdles and barriers. People who needed the money the most were struggling to get it quickly. So we were able to reverse that with the Live Local campaign. So yeah, what else can I tell you about this? So it wasn't just a website. We also did a pretty comprehensive marketing and advertising campaign. We also did a re-granting program. So we were able to give $80,000 directly to small businesses in, $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000 and $4,000 chunks. So this is a table of all the grants that we gave to local businesses to purchase their goods and services and then contribute those to COVID impacted populations in our metro. So this is a pretty impressive table. If you want me to send it to you, lots of good ideas in here. We also did marketing re-grants to encourage businesses to co-brand with the Live Local campaign. We tried to build legs so that the campaign could live past the CARES Act money. And it was all had to be spent under deadlines. And so that was a real challenge in terms of implementation. So there's a whole section on lessons learned, more to do. We want to actually work with a software company out of Winnipeg, Canada, to create a local dollars system within the Live Local campaign. And there's a lot of advantages to that. So if you run your own local point of sale digital currency system with a credit union partner, you can help your businesses save hundreds of dollars in credit card and electronic processing fees every month. And they can actually donate some of that money back to their customers onto their account for buying local. So it's a giant community-wide rewards program that has some really slick usability features that other programs I've studied to date don't have. And so we're just waiting for that second round of the CARES Act. We're also developing a corporate sponsorship program. Sarah anticipated that nicely. There's an easy way to put a corporate, sponsor logo in the middle of your product gallery where everyone can see it. We also did a lot of collateral. So these are testimonials we collected. We buttons, vinyl stickers are all over our city. We developed a one-pager. This is a great little Slim Jim. So we printed 60,000 of these and distributed them across the city. So retailers were putting them in customers' checkout bags just for education. So these are the top 4 reasons why to buy local. We printed canvas Live Local shopping bags there was a supply chain issue, so we didn't get those until just a couple weeks ago, even though we purchased them last year. And so we're going to do a fun promotion around that. And we have been doing a poster campaign for 3 years now. So here's examples of business owners, a photo petition. They pose with the poster and it goes on our Instagram and Facebook accounts, and everyone's like, oh, I know that person. And it just draws in a lot of followers and attention. And then these are examples of all the print and digital ads that we garnered. So lots of attention. And then we got another $50,000 from our county to do a holiday campaign. So you can see the holiday, the Inland Northwest Way is kind of a fun play on our kind of flagship campaign. So I think that's a good place to land it. We got look at all this media we garnered, lots and lots of earned media. We've been a busy group. And in the chat, I want to kind of paste our final piece of media. You can see here, businesses sharing their experience with the campaign and how the campaign actually impacted their bottom lines. Because the one weakness of the lovely Support Local platform that's very easy to use and quick to implement is that you don't get sales data because you're not in between the business and their customer. So it's really hard to objectively quantify the impact of the campaign. There are many other ways you can do that, website traffic, so on and so forth. But it's not the kind of hard data that Amazon can collect, for example. And so we're thinking about creative ways to overcome that. And at that, I will drop this news spot into the chat and we can share with the next speaker.
Wow, thank you.
Awesome. Yes, thanks, Mariah. And I think, yes, if you can, I don't know if you have a link to that report for downloading, or we can share it after, but thank you. Sounds great.
I do have it on Google Drive, so I'll share a public link.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Well, let's see. Let's Colin, I think I'm going to cue you up next if you are ready to go, and then we'll have Thomas, and then I'll wrap it up with what we've got going on here in Louisville.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate you guys putting this together too. So compared to the other examples that have been out there this morning, ours is pretty meat and potatoes, just very basic, and was put together last fall in response to the holidays coming, and retailers need to have support during the holiday season. So I'll try to share my screen here. So our marketplace, did it go? Oh, it's coming. Did it click through?
No.
Not yet.
It's counting down like it's going to. Maybe.
There we go. It's coming.
Did it pop? Yeah,
That's
it's
a screen
fuzzy.
broadcast anyway. I don't know if this is what you were wanting to share.
On my screen, it's all blurry. So can you see it on your screen?
No, it's all
No.
It's like it is sharing something, but it's just blurry. And then in the front, it says screen broadcast. I've never seen that before, honestly.
It figures that I would get that. I may have to stop it.
I can share it if you want to give me the web address, Colin.
Yeah, just danebylocal.com. It's right on the homepage. So sorry about that. So essentially what it comes down to is our website right now is built on Wix. And so we used materials that were in the backside of the Wix program to create a listing of all of the different members who have e-commerce. There you go. You're going to get it to come up. If you just dial down a little bit, you'll find the link for Marketplace. A little bit more.
There we go.
There it is. Just click. There you go. Thank you.
Sure.
So up at the top, we've got some different categories of the businesses that are included. There it is right there. And then if you just dial down further, you'll start to see each of the participating businesses. At this point, it's an opt-in for any of our members that want to be listed on the page. We've got about 50 of them that are listed currently, and we continue to reach out to people to get them connected. One of the things that we do ask is that they have some sort of e-commerce on their website. So many of our members, they have a website, but you can't actually purchase anything on the website. You can send them an email, but nothing beyond that. So we ask that any of the ones that were going to be listed on this page, that you could actually purchase off of their website and either set up delivery or curbside pickup, whatever the case might be. It doesn't feature a specific item, it's featuring the business. We had a couple of our businesses that actually sold out of products during the holiday, and they gave the credit to this particular page. So we tried to push it out as much as we could during the holidays. We did not have the financial resources that some others have had here to get the word out there. So it's been very organic using Facebook and our newsletters to get the word out to the general public. We did have a number of press coverage that took place during the holidays. And so as much as possible, I did bring up the marketplace as being one of those opportunities that people could support local. They didn't have to automatically go to Amazon. This would be an opportunity for them to shop safely, but also shop locally. So that's how we promoted it. So like I say, it's pretty straightforward, meat and potatoes. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that some of the other ones have, but we were able to get this up very quickly, just in a matter of a week or so, in response to the pandemic. So I envision that this will develop and expand as time goes forward.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, we've so a couple of different models so far, and I'm gonna queue up Thomas here for our next model, which is kind of similar to the model that we did, but using different programs. So Thomas, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. All right. Yep.
Oh, I was just going to share everybody. I am going to go through the chat kind of after we've kind of gone through everything to revisit all of your questions that you've dropped in there so you don't forget them.
Hey, everybody. Thomas here from Local First Arizona. We're statewide over here in Arizona, work with around 3,000 businesses across the state. Is my screen showing?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we started this journey almost a year ago when we realized in April that people were buying online more than ever before, like a lot of us realized, and did a lot of brainstorming about the different routes we could have taken to create our marketplace. And so there were some similar sites that people had tried to start in Arizona before this that we learned a lot from. And they failed for one main reason, and that was because the fulfillment of the orders was not consistent for buyers. And so we wanted to make sure that the consumer shopping experience was as best as possible, because that would ultimately determine if the marketplace would have legs and actually sustain itself long term. So what we actually did is we had a custom built marketplace in WordPress created. And so we worked with a local marketing company, did a lot of exploration sessions with them to let them know exactly what we wanted out of the site, how we wanted it to function, what capabilities we wanted it to have. And they built it for us and then trained our team how to manage it. And so this is just an example of some of the things that we're able to do throughout the year, which is change what's featured so that whatever thematically is happening throughout the year, we can feature specific products, specific themes, specific types of businesses so that people can support them. Obviously, Women's History Month right now, the first thing you hit when you come onto the site is women-owned businesses. And so our team is just able to create custom marketing features on the main page that are focused on whatever's happening throughout the year. And we can select and mix and match what businesses pop up. So our kind of focus on the site is just kind of from a consumer marketing perspective. How do we grab people's attention, get them to shop and purchase things that maybe they didn't even know existed or were being sold by local businesses in Arizona. And then if we go back up to the top, if you just want to look at vendors on the site and browse those, you can do that. And each specific business on the site actually has their own page that they can use. And this was important to us because there's so many small businesses, as we all know, that either don't have a huge following or don't even have their own e-commerce site. And so we wanted to create the opportunity for businesses to be able to share through their own social media platforms that they had a place that people could purchase from them. And so let me find a good one here. Might even look at this one. Every business has their own store where you can just view the products that they're selling, and they have the capabilities of adding more information about themselves, phone number, contact info, and then all of their products are listed. We actually decided to limit the number of products each business can load on here to 10 for several reasons. But the main reason is we didn't want this to become a site that just had anything and everything. We wanted to have the best things that the businesses were offering that they can switch in and out throughout the year. And the reason is because we looked into other sites that do that, which could be Etsy, could be eBay, and it's just a different experience, right? You can try to find anything you want rather than really great things. And we wanted this to be a site that just had really great things. We have a gift card function on the website. And then one of the coolest things that we wanted was we have a registry. So over time, what we're trying to do is not just make this gift focused, but this was an important component for weddings, baby showers, birthdays, graduations, holidays, where you as a consumer can actually go on here, create your own login, go through the site, pick and choose things that you like, send it to grandma, send it to mom and dad, and say, support locally owned businesses for my birthday this year. Here's a bunch of things and businesses that I like. And rather than going to, Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever and doing their registry, support these small businesses here. So it creates a custom link that you can send to people, email to people, post on social media, etc. So over time, we're hoping to really build up those products that people might want for those types of occasions through the website. And then if you could just click on Shop Local, this will just kind of show you different categories on the website. So Arizona Made, Arizona Pride, et cetera, et cetera. The unique funding model that we have set up for this is that we pass through 100% of the sales to the businesses. There was two reasons for that. One is because with the heightened increase in consumers wanting to support small businesses, we thought by being able to communicate that all the sales go straight to the business, more people would be interested in using the site. And then we didn't want to appear like we were making money off of it. And so the way that we fund is by selling sponsorships. And then every business that is on the site is a member of Local First Arizona. So we saw a spike in membership by businesses joining our organization to get on the website. It's a value add to businesses that are already a member. And yeah, so I think the only other thing I'd add in is that we actually worked with an attorney to build up an agreement between the vendors and ourselves so that we cannot be held liable should a product not reach somebody, be broken, not ship on time, etc. It's a transaction between the shopper and the business, and we're just a platform on which the transaction takes place. So once a week, we send every completed order's money from Local First to the businesses that marked it as complete. We can automate it, but we actually are just doing it manual right now to make sure that everything's working out. We've had this live for about 3 months, and I believe we're doing about 10,000 or so a month. It was higher in the holidays for all the businesses on the site. So that's us. Happy to answer questions in a minute.
Thanks, Thomas. Are you still doing the service charge, like the per order?
We don't have a per order service charge, no.
Okay. I thought there was like a $250.
Oh, yes, you're right. To cover the transaction fees, the consumer pays, I think, $1.50 on top of what the product price is. to cover the cost of the transaction fees for the credit cards. So
Cool.
I had a
Well,
question. Is there for the communities to launch it with the partner organization, is there a marketplace fee for, let's say, shop local, support local? When you work with a municipality or local government, is there a startup fee, or is there a cost associated to it? What's the revenue model, if you may?
can I pause that question for just a second?
Sure.
I'm just going to wrap up with mine, and then I do want to hear from everybody, because I think that's something that I want to hear from all the folks that presented, as far as like what were the startup costs, what are the costs to the businesses, and any additional, anything with the customer, like the service, the covering the fees, that sort of thing. So, and yes, so let me just wrap up real quick here with Louisville's shoplocallou.com. So we started our process with just a lot of research, and there are a million products out there, and more every day, it seems like. And I continue to hear about new products for multi-vendor marketplaces. It seems like everybody has finally decided that, yes, this is something that can work, and here's how we're going to do it. So with that, we decided to have kind of a retailer advisory group with our membership. So compared to a lot of different things, and a lot of things have come online since then. Really liked Sarah and Jack's product as well, but we were looking for something where people could make direct purchases and purchase from many different retailers all in one swoop. So that would be similar to Arizona's model. We did use Shopify, and we used a plugin to Shopify. So it was from a company called Webcool, and they designed this multi-vendor marketplace to work with Shopify. So we pay about $30 a month for a basic Shopify membership, and about $45 a month for this plugin. And where the expense comes in is all the programming and customization that goes into making all the plugins work. So definitely high level of staff time investment, that sort of thing. Whereas, products like Support Local are very, turnkey. And so it's all about where your organization lands on this spectrum of what you want to get out of it and that sort of thing. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So it's no monthly charge to the membership to be on shoplocallou.com. But we do we have to pay the credit card fees. So that comes out of it, and 1% stays with LEBA. We did some testing, etc. Launching is a whole process, but I won't get into that in our little 5-minute chat here today. But it's a similar idea. We have Welcome to Shop Local Lou, talking about why buying local is important. And then we have groups by specific groupings, items that are actually handmade here locally, Black-owned businesses, etc. So these are different ones, and we can change these out as needed. Main sponsor is the water company. I noticed Arizona's was the power company, and everybody's sponsorship is really key in getting these off the ground for sure. Just a couple other things real quickly here. So like a catalog, this is where it would list all of the different products available. Collections, those are the collections that we just talked about, the $25 and under, etc. When people want to search, they can search by their neighborhood. So they can choose, if they want to explore their own neighborhood, if they want to see what's going on across town, they can do that. Or, of course, the product type. Of course, we have the why buy local section as well. Why is this important, etc. And I can't even see all of my screen. Oh, and then for vendors, that's where they log in, that sort of thing. I will say, as far as positives go, obviously we had an uptick in membership. People were interested in it. Our members were really excited about it. We got a lot of good press from it. We really pushed ours for the holidays. Right now it is still out there, but we are waiting to take our next step, because we've invested about $9,000 in it so far. That is, actually about $7,000 so far, because we have some other programming time that we can use as well. And that was for obviously the cost of the programs, but the main cost being having someone who can program the site. We opted to go this way as opposed to the WordPress site because this was a little bit lower maintenance once the programming was set up. We were also excited to be for people to be able to purchase all with one transaction. We were not excited. We thought that we would have the ability to offer curbside delivery and shipping. However, really, we can only offer 2 of those at the same time. And we started to implement shipping, but with the holidays, et cetera, we just didn't want the site to have difficulties during that time. So we kept it to curbside, but we will be implementing shipping. But honestly, I'm doing kind of another reassessment of the different products out there because there are so many of them and so many of them offer different things. So we're kind of making sure that, we're wanting to continue on this path with spending the money, et cetera. But we have had good support with sponsorship around it. So let's see. I think that's basically all that I wanted to say about that. So let me see. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. Stop share. I don't know how to do that. There we go. Okay, so now let's get back to our question from, I think it was Dean. And then we will just start the question fest. How about that?
Sounds great.
Well, I think Dean may be coming back online here, but if I can hear from the other folks about, kind of what their costs were for implementing, that would be great, and what the cost is to their membership.
Okay, perfect. I'm on, but that's exactly my question. So thank you.
Well, okay, great. Do you want to go in reverse order? I just said mine. So let's go Thomas, then Colin, and back on up the chain. Or I guess you kind of said yours, Thomas. I'm not sure how much I know that a lot of it was donated, but go ahead.
So I'm sorry, what exactly is the question?
How much did it cost your organization to implement the site? And then how much does it cost your members to participate? And I think you covered the members participating. That's no fees, but.
Yeah, we ended up paying $10,000 and finding a partner to do it at a reduced rate. So based on what we have, we estimate that our site probably would have taken about 25 to 30 cash to pay somebody to build. But we had an existing partner that we were able to negotiate that with. Now, the ongoing maintenance of the site, we hired a full-time staff person to onboard businesses, market the website, make sure the businesses have compelling photos, descriptions, understand how to ship items, market it themselves. So we have somebody doing that full-time. So our model is to sell sponsorships to the site, which right now we've sold, about double of what it took us to pay to have the site built. And then what we're doing is we're going around, we're going around the cities, and we are pitching to tourism groups the opportunity to build experience packages as a strategy to revive their downtowns from the pandemic. And so we're working with their restaurants and their experience-based businesses to build date night packages and staycations and things like that, wherein they would sponsor them. So we're doing that with 3 different cities right now, and then we'll have those up within the month. So we'll be able to show that to other cities and kind of go around and do more of that. So.
Colin, I think yours is all internal costs, just staff time.
Yeah.
I say just, that's a significant investment too.
Yeah, so we did hire one of our members to do a little programming for us on the back end of the system. I think we paid him $500 or $600 to set it up, and then it's just maintained by staff. So there's real no cost there, and we don't charge the members any fee for doing that at this point. We wanted to keep it as available as possible. Everybody's struggling already, so just kept it bare bones for that.
Awesome. And I don't know how we want to support local folks. If I guess
I can speak to it.
Yeah.
So the baseline fee for our platform, for the Support Local platform, is $6,000. And then there are different, things that can be added, like the map feature or an additional home pages or subsequent secondary pages that can be built out. So it's definitely scalable, but the baseline fee is $6,000. And then for the ongoing fee, there's after 3 months of free, there's a $500 a month is what it starts at for the ongoing fee for the license for the platform. And that's just based on the number of users. So it does scale up when you get to a greater number of users. And most of the organizations that have implemented this have used either they've garnered sponsorship funds, grant money, as in Maria's case, and have really just found influencers from within the communities to pay for that. And then in terms of the fee to the merchants, that's really up to whoever implements the marketplace. We hope that it's a free resource for all of the businesses, but it's really up to the individual organization. They can make it part of their chamber or affiliation, monthly fees, or it could be an added cost, or it can be something that's just open to the community and available and then paid for via sponsorships. There's also another option of having advertising sales. There's ad spaces that we've built into the feed throughout the marketplace, just one per page. And then there's also spaces on the homepage for selling advertisements. And there's one marketplace I know right now that is in the process of putting together a collaboration with another local organization where they will be selling advertisement on the space, which is kind of another unique monetary option for growth moving forward. And then in terms of time commitment, I think all of the profiles and all the products on the pages are fully managed by the individual businesses. So there is time spent, onboarding businesses and making sure that they're aware that it's available, but the businesses can go in and edit and delete their own products, update their own profiles, update their hours, how they want, restaurants can update what their delivery options are. And so really on the admin side, for the people that are implementing it, the organizations, once businesses are aware of it, the biggest time spend is just marketing it, is just making sure that it's people, that the community is aware that this is a resource that's out there, and making sure that people are continuing to go to it and make it a healthy marketplace.
Cool. Jen and Mariah, do you have anything to add to that as far as cost of implementing and onboarding?
No, that pretty much covers it. We did have one main sponsor to get us launched. And I think for me, it's been great because I reach out to the people on our Mercantile monthly. And so I'm able to say, hey, Easter's coming up. Here's a nice, image to use in your social media. Here's a template. And by the way, make sure you put your Easter stuff up. But I'm also gleaning a lot of that stuff for them, just because that's kind of what I do. So I don't always wait for them to connect their items to the Mercantile. I shop around and I create our own little landing page for Easter and St. Patrick's Day and things like that. So I kind of get to know what everyone is offering. It takes more time, but it's just what's working for our little small community.
Awesome. Mariah, anything to add on that part of it?
Nope. Our startup costs were grant funded.
Awesome.
There is time to educate business owners on how to load products and services. Some people just aren't. It's very user friendly and intuitive, but some folks just aren't oriented that way. So we do get a lot of customer support requests, like how do I activate my PayPal button? Oh, I don't have a PayPal account. Help me get one. Things that kind of go beyond what the package is, but that if they don't have those other things in place, they can't use what you're offering. So right now I have volunteers doing that, and that's very uncomfortable for me. So I'm working really hard to try to get more grants and develop a corporate sponsorship program. but that takes a lot of my time. And as a sole staff person running this huge thing, I'm feeling pretty stretched thin. So it's not, our current structure is not sustainable. We had this huge, lump of resources drop into our lap, and we made hay while we could. And so it's just eventually I hope to get to where Jen is, where there's this nice monthly routine of a theme and, sending out a post to everybody. But right now we kind of got on a rocket docket, and then we fell off a cliff, and now we're trying to rebuild. So it's been a wild ride, but the tool works well. It's easy I'm a small business owner outside of my IBA hat, and I use it to list rental rooms actually. And when I, fill a room, it's easy to archive that product, but I can keep the product in the system. So when that room comes open again, I can just reactivate that product listing. So I don't have to re-enter everything again. That kind of stuff makes it easy on the back end. Someone wanted to ask about business enrollment. I'm happy I have the back end of the WordPress website up if people want to take a peek, but it's pretty brain dead simple, really.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to see if I can get to a couple other questions. And someone did ask, if we could put out kind of a brief program overview of what we've covered today. And I know that Rebecca is taking great notes, and I think that thank you. I'm glad you're nodding, Rebecca. You're the woman for this kind of thing. I know. Someone else had asked about using Shopify, Etsy. I kind of explained how ours is a plugin to Shopify. So we kind of use some of their backend, but most of the functionality lies within the app that's the plugin to it. And then there's plugins to the plugin as well. But I haven't, there's not really a direct product that Shopify or Etsy offers that is specifically to build a local online marketplace. I think we've probably addressed, somebody had a question about retailers signing up. I think that has been addressed, but we can pipe up if not. Arno had a question about direct referrals, et cetera. And I think after going through all the programs, it's, it just depends on the program, how we count who comes in as a customer, is it by the click rates, what gets clicked through, some of Thomas and my site, we directly measure sales. Other sites, it's just by, what kind of traffic is coming through, that sort of thing. But ideally, you have this hooked up to, the Google thing or whatever, some kind of measuring to see where your sources are, where all the traffic's coming from.
Google Analytics.
What's that?
Google Analytics.
Yes, analytics.
Yeah, you can track
right.
all the clicks and where they're clicking from and through.
All that fun stuff. Oh my gosh, it's a rabbit hole looking at Google Analytics. So many things you can find there. So, and then I think also, and so someone else had a question about, are the marketplaces set up as nonprofits or some other business entity? For us personally, it's just part of what we do as the Louisville Independent Business Alliance. This is one of our initiatives. I don't know if that's different for anybody else, but you guys can pipe up real quick if so. I think it's about the same for everybody there. So awesome.
Well, our model is a little different because it's not just that our buy local campaign is a program of SIMBA. We actually structured the campaign as a coalition of 9 different organizations. Okay. So we knew that we had to have a brand that wasn't our organization's brand to get our partners to buy into it, so that they didn't feel like we were taking them over, like to create something new that we could all share together. And that worked really well.
Nice. Awesome. Well, let's see. With that, we've got about 5 minutes left.
I have a quick question. Sorry.
Sure.
I for some reason, I can't get to the chat right now. But for anybody here that's using Wild Apricot for member management, is there any integration between your marketplace and your member management software? Or are you asking your members to log in here to do membership stuff and then also log in here to do marketplace things?
Yeah, Sarah and Jack helped me out. I use Wild Apricot, so I was able to, kind of do it in a 2-step process, which was download all the information with the spreadsheet kind of set up so that she could upload it for me. So instead of having all of our members, even though we don't have members right now, we were able to kind of give them the scaffolding, and then they just signed in and took it from there. So that was kind of a quick and dirty way, but there is no direct connection that I've been able to pick up on. I know, Jennifer, you use Wild Apricot too.
Yeah, we don't, there's no direct connection. between the two. Wild Apricot does offer a marketplace, but it's really just for, like stuff that we would sell. And we ended up just putting all of our items onto shoplocalloo.com, all of our like t-shirts and things that we sell, Keep Local Weird stuff, So yeah. Well, I feel like we're drinking from a fire hose in many ways because there's a lot of information out there. I'm so glad that, we're kind of getting this off the ground. I'm glad to be coordinating this, overall with Amoeba. And let's see, Mary Alice is piping up with a question here. If you use WordPress, you can connect the user table on the back end to memberships and websites like these. Do you want to elaborate on that, Mary Alice?
Sure. Yeah. Just for Dixie's question, I think so we have been building out our new directory, which is not the same as this, but it is a way, if you have different themes, you can use different themes and make a multi-site and connect the back end of the user table for WordPress so that people are logging in to update membership information in one place and then updating their directory or marketplace listing with the same login. That's WordPress and it comes with its own baggage, but just FYI.
That is kind of how Wild Apricot does that. Like it updates the Wild Apricot. So like our website is run through Wild Apricot too, and it just kind of connects like that. But no, right now they don't connect. Like the multi-vendor marketplace is a totally separate thing. I think so. With that, I don't know. Does anybody want to see? I mean, I could just show briefly like the back end of ours, or if Mariah wanted to show the back end of hers, but I think we've just got a couple minutes left, and that might be diving a little deeper than we have time for.
Maybe we almost need part B to this conversation.
I know it. Well, and I did forget this question. I'm sorry, from Alex. So question for Mariah, what program under the CARES Act did you receive funds from? And what are you expecting from the ARP?
So our city got a certain amount of funds, $6 million, and they did a massive survey to determine priorities. And funding small businesses was actually the #1 priority among citizens for how to use the city CARES Act money. And so we received about half of the dollars that were given to bail out small businesses. And a Seattle firm got the other half, much to our local partners' chagrin. But yeah, so they were scrambling and they were very gracious. I know I've heard a lot from other jurisdictions that people weren't sure, could you buy small businesses products and services with CARES Act money? And the administrator of our grant program kind of was like, why not? It's the spirit of the grant. And so we really pushed the envelope and really used those resources to great effect. Whereas I think some other people were more risk averse and were like, oh, we don't want to know. We don't want to get into something. We don't want to have to pay things back later. Let's not go there. And so they weren't able to do the kind of program that we pulled off. And it actually came in 2 phases. And so we had a $300,000 6-week initial disbursement. And then they were like, oh, we still have money left over. Can you spend another $150,000 in literally 13 days? So that was quite an experience. Yeah, we also had a consulting program. So we were offering drop-in classes on a variety of different topics. So we had 3 online business consulting webinars a day. That we had about an average of 6 or 7 businesses per webinar dropping in for technical assistance and helping to design pivot strategies. And then with the addendum grant, we did 22 one-on-one coaching guides, so that they got an assessment tool and then 2 hours of one-on-one assistance from a business consultant. So we're just finding ways to spend that money as fast as we could.
Yeah. So a lesson to everyone too on keeping in touch with your local city officials and making sure that you're advocating for yourself as things continue to change throughout the pandemic. Any other wrap-up thoughts from our other presenters? And I'm going to drop in the chat as well our next Local Leaders Roundtable, where we're going to talk about the ever expanding and reformatting catalog of Amoeba and all of the resources, et cetera, of which this call will be added to all of those resources along with Rebecca's notes. So any other closing thoughts from our presenters? All right.
I think that the next round of CARES Act money could be used to fund the startup costs for creating our own local payment processing systems. I think we need to take that back and own that, because there's no reason we all need to be doing the hard work and Visa and MasterCard are skimming the fat off of our backs.
Big pain point for a lot of small businesses, for sure. For sure. Awesome.
I just want to remind everybody that we do send out great follow-up notes. I'll get links to everything and all of the specific software that everyone used and some of the, excuse me, some of the details about the programs. And you'll have that in your mailbox early next week.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rebecca. And thanks to everybody for coming out today and for participating and for buying local.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.